I am Angella Sharpe, and welcome to the Daily Mix. Okay, I need to know if you guys are a little bit like me. So I never realized how much I smile at strangers, like at the grocery store or out in public. Apparently, I always smile at strangers, and I guess I wait for them to acknowledge my smile in some way, because I've been noticing now when I go to the grocery store and I have my mask on, I smile at people and no one cares. I'm not like a supermodel, I can't smile with my eyes. So it kind of makes me sad. I'm kind of looking for like that human interaction even though we're not speaking, and I don't get it anymore. So are you like me? Let me know if you are like me, because I just need to know if I'm totally crazy here or not. I just like to smile at people. Plus, I think I look way better when I smile than when you can't see any of my face. So there's that. You guys, we have a great show for you today. We're gonna talk about babies coming to the zoo. And then at the end of the show, we're gonna get just a little deep. We've got April Haskins from the Midwest Dementia Connection coming on. She is gonna let us know how she can help if you or have a loved one that you are taking care of who maybe has dementia, and how you can kind of get started in understanding what that's all about. Let's get started with today's Daily Mix. In the midst of the pandemic, there has been a lot of concern about access to voting. Well, there's some good news. The St. Louis Board of Estimate and Apportionment has approved a request from Comptroller Darlene Green to transfer $60,000 from the CARES Pandemic 2020 contingency funds to the Board of Election for 3 satellite offices to process in-person absentee ballots during the November 2020 election. Here's what Comptroller Green had to say about it.
Okay, well, I am excited that the City of St. Louis has taken steps to provide voting options to our voters for this fall's. November the 3rd is going to be a very historic election day because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and there are people who have health concerns about going out among people during the pandemic, standing in line to vote. And so a lot of people are choosing absentee voting. A lot of people will mail in their absentee ballots, but there are some that want to be real sure about their vote, so they want to vote absentee, and they usually go in person to the election board downtown in the city of St. Louis. This time we want to expand the opportunities for those who want to vote in-person absentee by adding 3 additional satellite locations, and I think that's great. And we were able to find the funding for those 3 locations through the CARES Act funding. And so we were able to get the approval for the funding passed last week at the Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. And so now we will be able to fund 3 additional satellite locations, and people can look forward to having an opportunity to vote nearby, so to speak. So that's important. The first day that you can vote in-person absentee happens to be September 22nd. The Board of Election, they are putting together the plan of how that will work, as well as where those locations will be. That's still not finalized, but there will be a location north, there will be a location south, and there will be a location in Midtown. And so, like I said, that gives the possibilities throughout the city to have a place to vote that's close by or closer than the downtown location. Now, these 3 satellite locations will be in addition to the downtown location where the election board is located at Tucker and Olive. So that will still be open and ready to assist along with the other 3 satellite locations.
In-person absentee voting begins on September 22nd and ends at 5 p.m. on November 2nd. That's the day before the election. The 3 satellite locations will be announced by the Board of Election Commissioners. Voters can also request a mail-in ballot or an absentee ballot by mail. For more information, visit the Board of Election Commissioners page at stlouis-mo.gov. The 8th annual Taste in Ferguson is right around the corner, but of course this year it comes with a twist. Since we are still social distancing, they've created the Taste in Ferguson box. Ticket holders will be able to drive through Savoy and pick up a custom to-go box full of samples of delicious food from their participating restaurants. That includes Cupcake Fetish, made by Leah, Man's Meats, Adam's Smokehouse, Just Chicken, Drake's Place, and so many more. Now they have a few different ticket options to choose from, and this year the proceeds from Taste will have a dual purpose, benefiting scholarships for North County youth through Angels at Work, as well as supporting the restaurants that are participating. And we all know restaurants have been hit hard during this time. Taste in Ferguson box takes place Sunday, September 13th from 4 to 6. And tickets are also going to be on sale through Thursday, September 10th. They can be purchased through Facebook, Instagram, and thetasteinferguson.com. An 18-year-old chimpanzee at the St. Louis Zoo is due to give birth this fall at Jungle at the Apes. Udama and her mom, Rosebud, came to the zoo in 2007. The primate care staff say that the close bond between the two should help in her raising her own baby. 28-year-old Kajanya is also believed to be the father. However, a blood test will have to confirm the paternity when the baby is older. In the meantime, you can follow Utama's path to motherhood by following the zoo on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at stlzoo.org. Sprains, fractures, dislocations, sports injuries. They can be very painful, and let's face it, they're usually totally unexpected. Well, now there's a new clinic available to help patients suffering from acute bone, joint, and muscle injuries. The Orthopedic Associates Injury Access Clinic is now available for patients to walk in and be seen without an appointment. The clinic serves as an alternative to, emergency rooms or other wide range of services. They also include a diagnosis and prompt treatment for injuries that have occurred within 72 hours. The Injury Access Clinic is located at the Orthopedic Associates main office on Old DePere Road and is open Monday through Friday from 1 to 5. You can learn more by visiting them at oastl.com. All right. Are you a trivia buff? Is rock and roll your specialty? Well, there's still time to sign up for the upcoming virtual Johnny Be Good Rock and Roll Trivia Night. Everyone is welcome to join in on the fun celebrating rock and roll and the legend of Johnnie Johnson. Money raised from the event will support the completion of the film that the local TV personality Art Holliday is doing. It's a music documentary called Johnny Be Good. A portion of the proceeds will also benefit and the co-host Play It Forward STL, which is a nonprofit that refurbishes used musical instruments and donates them to children in our area who cannot afford them. I just love that. I love music. I'm very not talented at it, but I love music, and I think kids everywhere should be able to at least try to play it. The Johnny Be Good Rock and Roll Trivia Night will take place online Saturday, September 19th from 7 to 10. I wonder how they make sure you can't cheat that way. Because trivia nights in general, people are always trying to cheat with their phone. But if I'm doing it from my house, I feel like I really could cheat. I'm not gonna play, don't worry. You should play. I'm not gonna play because I would cheat. You can learn more about the trivia night and the documentary at jjthemovie.com and on Facebook at Johnny Be Good, the movie. Now, I'm sure you want to learn a little bit more about this film, right? So let's take a look at the trailer for Johnny Be Good.
He's as close to, being a founding father of rock and roll as we have, and they ought to put him on a stamp.
Look at those huge, great big hands, and then amazed at the delicacy of what was coming out the other end. It was just almost incomprehensible. It was like, somebody had laid a sledgehammer on something and it came out like diamonds.
Up on the top, And that was Johnny, man. Johnny knew how to put those diamond tiaras into the music.
I was 16 or 17 and I was listening to Chuck Berry records on the radio, and who's that piano player?
This fellow comes in and I see him standing over kind of in the wings, you know, and so I said to Chuck, I said, who is that?
Nobody knew who Johnnie Johnson was. Nobody was there, you know, to stand up for him.
Chuck said, oh, that's Johnnie Johnson. I said, you mean that piano player that's on all your records?
It just couldn't have been any more perfect, the piano playing on those records.
We started getting interviews from different reporters, and they would ask Johnny, how does it feel about you not getting royalties? And Johnny's like, I mean, I never knew I was supposed to.
I knew nothing of royalties. I got paid for doing the session, and I thought that was it.
Johnny got shortchanged by Chuck.
Ripped off. That's how I feel.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Would you, as you sit here today, regard Mr. Johnson as a collaborator in the songs that you wrote?
Absolutely not. We worked that out together.
You recall that?
Yes, I do.
I think Chuck Berry probably legitimately thought, I wrote the words, melody, it's my song.
I wouldn't want to be the judge that sat on that particular issue. I don't know how you decide that.
If you're talking about the legal aspect of it, that's one thing. If you're talking about the you and I know aspect, that's another thing.
I know deep in my heart, in my soul, that without Johnnie Johnson, there'd have probably been no Chuck Berry.
All right, and joining me now is April Haskins from the Midwest Dementia Connection. Now, this is a little bit of a deeper topic than we normally get into on the Daily Mix. So can you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to get involved in helping people?
Yeah, I would love to. I founded Midwest Dementia Connection within the last few months. I worked with those living with some form of dementia or Alzheimer's for the last 5 years in the role of an administrator at a memory care where I deeply fell in love with those that I was serving. I am quick to establish a bond with people living with dementia. It's comfortable and it's very easy for me. But that's not how it is for families. And so I had spent 5 years of really working one-on-one with each of the family members as the disease would progress or change, and help them to understand that the loved one's not doing something on purpose, or that what is happening is normal and it's their reality. And so it's really up to us, the outsiders of dementia, to jump into that reality and be a part of it so that they're more comfortable and don't feel excluded.
Yeah, well, what does the Midwest Dementia Connection, what do you guys do over there to help families who are dealing with this?
Great question. Yeah. So my main role is the consultant, and there's a couple different options that I do. So if a family is seeking just that extra personal attention through the journey, we would just sit down and do a consultation together. And if I can do in-home work with them where I can come in and observe the home, observe their techniques with informal caregiving. A lot of it comes down to communication with those living with dementia. I'll start with that and come up with a treatment plan per se. And what I mean by that is we're not treating the dementia, we're treating the family on how to communicate a little bit differently to put everybody at ease, or looking at situations in the home. Is it safe? Is it not? I can be that person who goes out and does research if we feel like it's time to pull a home health company in. I mean, I know that people want to stay at home as long as they can. And ironically, with the pandemic, I think a lot more people are keeping their loved one at home. And I want to make sure that that is a beautiful experience. being a caregiver comes with a lot of stress and anxiety. So what I can do to alleviate that. And then I also host events in the public where I invite caregivers in, and I really focus mostly on family caregivers, not necessarily those that are working within healthcare already, but having them come to a 4-hour event that I call the Dementia Experience, Dear Family, and really help that family feel what it feels like to live with dementia. So we do the blacked out on the side goggles. We help each other walk across the room, go get water, sit down with blacked out goggles as we, our vision changes with dementia. We lose our peripheral vision, and not knowing that you can frighten people easily, or maybe just not understand why they're not able to perform tasks that seem so simple and that we all take for granted, because the most important thing is that dementia is not just memory loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, with you at Midwest Dementia Connection, is this something that once somebody is diagnosed with dementia, the family can call you and help, or could they call you even before that?
You know what? Yeah, I don't even need a diagnosis. A lot of times I do want to work with the family and have them ask the doctor a few questions, because we do want to rule out things that could mimic dementia, depression, shortness of vitamin B, dehydration. But when we get to the end of that, and we're recognizing that, you know, let's say it's me, I lost my car keys, is very common as our brain changes. But what's not common is seeing car keys, but not knowing what to do with them. And so if we've ruled out some basic things, and then we're still seeing signs of cognitive decline of some kind, that's when I would love to start working with families, because that's truly when I can sit down and educate and train them on how to be present in the moment and live with those bubbles or the moments that are happening. Take a little bit of the stress and anxiety off of those family caregivers, because it's very easy. We love that person. We get very frustrated when those changes are happening, but come up with some great techniques, and a lot of it's talking through situations so that it's just that breath of fresh air. Okay, it is going to be okay. I can do this, and now I have a little bit better understanding of why these things are happening.
Absolutely. Well, if somebody is listening and they feel like they could really benefit from you, how can they get in contact with you? How can they reach out?
Yeah, so the first thing they can do is go to the website, MidwestDementiaConnection.com. Also on Facebook, I put a lot of posts out there for, actually today I'll get my Mindset Monday out there, and tips on Tuesday. They can read blogs, but they can also call me directly at 314-610-3110.
Well, thank you so much, April. Like I said, I know this was a deeper topic than we usually cover, but I feel like it's very important. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And you guys, after you check them out, you can make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can even drop us a line at the Daily Mix at stltv.net. We want to hear from you. That's going to do it for the Daily Mix, but keep it right here on STL TV and Experience St. Louis.